All right, hi everybody. Um, as you can see from the worksheets, this is supposed to be a group lesson. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to group right now. I wish we could. So you might want to try this on your own, and if you get stuck, join me. I included the triangles and all the worksheets with the hints. But if you want to just do it with me, that's fine. Okay, so get in your groups, cut out your triangles, and you can write on your triangles if that helps you. And you want to use the colored markers or pencils to outline the blank sides of the triangles. So, right now, I'm going to move this out of here. I'm going to move my triangles in here. Here's the way it should be set up. You have the big triangle. I'm not quite fitting in the screen, but I can't really do anything about that at this point. And I have, if you see the little green things, it's telling me that I need to stay in there, but the triangles are too big. Anyway, that's okay. All right, so here's the way the triangles are set up. All right, you have red, blue, and green. Now, the nice thing is I have all kinds of markers, red, blue, green, so I can set it up that way. So if you want, at least do this part of it. Okay. ABD is the red triangle. BDC is the blue triangle. I'm going on the inside because I'm going to have to do the big triangle on the outside. And ABC is the big guy. Okay, so if we look at this, I have right angles all over the place. Right there, and I have a right angle right there. Okay, it says that AD is 3, DC is 9, and find the length of BD. So I'm going to put my X here. Okay, so now I know that these two angles have to add up to 90. So I'm just going to make up numbers to put in here because it doesn't really matter right now. It will in the end, but. So this side, this leg is longer than this leg. So I'm going to make this angle bigger than this angle. Okay? So let's say I use 20 here. That means that I would have 70 here. All right? Now, since this angle is 90, this angle right here would be 70. Sorry, I just wrote 90 because I said 90. Well, if this angle is 70, this one has to be 20. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go back to my little triangles, and I'm going to label it the same way. So on the red, I have 70 here and 20 here. And you know what? I'm going to flip it over on this side. Notice I outlined it like it suggested. Okay, so that's my red triangle. Let's label my blue triangle. All right, my blue triangle has 70 here. Again, that makes sense. Look, this leg is longer. And that would leave the 20 right here. Okay, flip it over. I have 70 and 20. Okay, put that to the side. Now, for my green triangle, you can't see it, but over here on the right, I have 20. This is my 90, so that's the longest side. And this is my 70 because that's the medium. Flip it over. This one was 20. If you want to double check, see, there's the 20. And this one is 70. Okay, so since all the angle measures are the same, I can line them up as similar triangles. All right, now I can't line this green one up like this. I have to flip it over because I want the 70 to line up with the red 70. Now let me move down. I'll move that one down. And I think I can fit the blue guy in here. 70 has to go on the left. 20 has to go on the top. Okay? All right, so now I have my 3 similar triangles. Let's see. AD, so right here is A, right here is D. All right, that leaves this as the B of the red triangle. Good? So it says that AD is 3. All right. Now, it's still lined up the same way. Oops, sorry, let's go back here because this is my X. All right, across from the 90, all right, there's your B for the green triangle. The 70 is on the A, and the 20 is on the C. I know you can't see that C, but there it is, okay? All right. Now, the only measurement I have for the big triangle is the 3 plus 9. So on this, I'm going to Jay Leno the 12. Okay? So we're going from the split up pictures to the combined pictures. All right, so that means that for triangle ABC, the green one, we have 12 for the hypotenuse. So I can do the 12 here. Right, notice I have them all lined up the right way. Now, across from the 70 is 9. Across from the 20, I'm doing the blue triangle right now. Across from the 20 is the X. Okay, and the green triangle doesn't have an X in the picture. So I think I'm going to use my red and blue just because they both have an X. All right, do you see we have the corresponding sides there? So my proportion is going to be, right, 9 is to X as X is to 3. So 9 is to X as X is to 3. So X squared equals 27 square root. Now remember, if we were factoring, you would have a negative and a positive, but because we have measurements, we're only going to do the positive values. So X squared equals, X equals, split this up, 9 and 3. So this would be 3 red 3. All right, so that means that X is 3 red 3. Now let's put that in my red triangle. And let's put that in my blue triangle because that's where the X's were. Okay. Now, it says, use your results to find the lengths of AB, AC, and BC. Although you can use the Pythagorean theorem to solve it, I don't want you to do it that way. We're going to use proportions for the whole thing. Okay, so let's try and find AB first. So that's y. All right, the y is going to be on the red triangle and the green triangle, so let's get those two going. All right, so y is AB, and on the green triangle, y is also AB. Okay, so now let's see what we can do here. So we have the red and the green for AB. All right. So I have the 12 and the y and the 3. So there's going to be my proportion. So I'm going to do it up by here. So 12 is to y as y is to 3. 12 is to y as y is to 3. So when I cross multiply, y squared equals 36. So y equals 6. So that's 6. And this is 6. Okay, maybe some of you are seeing the pattern already. Well, AC we found just by adding, so we don't really have to do that with the proportion. So BC, I'm going to call Z. All right, that's green and blue. So green, excuse me, BC is Z. And blue, I don't have these on here. BC is of course from the 90s, so this is Z. Okay. So now, since I found these two numbers, I don't want to use them because if I'm wrong, I'm using the wrong numbers. So I'm going to use these two. 12 is to Z as Z is to 9. All right. So let's go back to here. 12 is to Z as Z is to 9. So Z squared equals 108, square root on both sides. So Z equals, I'm going to go over here. I'm still in the picture, good. 108. Okay, that's 36 and 3. So 6 red 3. Good? All right, so what kind of triangle is this? My favorite. It is my favorite 30, 60, 90. Okay, because if you look at the red, you have 3, you have 6, and you have 3 red 3. X red 3, 2x. If you look at the green, sorry, blue, let's go blue on this one. The hypotenuse is 6 red 3. The shorter leg is 3 red 3. And the longer leg is 9. Okay, and then the biggest one, the hypotenuse is 12. All right. The smaller leg is 6, and the larger leg is 6 red 3. All right, there's your x red 3, 2x. This one would take a little more work. We would have to rationalize the denominators to do this. All right, now, I know this seems pretty complicated, but there is an easier way to do it. And normally I would let you struggle through this for a while, but I think I'm going to just cut to the chase here. All right, AD is 2, DB is 16. DB is 16. You always need this J Leno here because that's going to be your hypotenuse of your larger triangle. So we're going to put the 18 into the picture. And actually, we're going to find everything on this. Now, from the words, the right angle is at C. The altitude is drawn to the hypotenuse. Here's your hypotenuse. Here's your right angle. Here's your altitude. So you have right angles right there because an altitude is perpendicular. Okay? All right. I'm going to turn this sideways because that's the way I like to do it. And that will be the way you like to do it. All right. So I'm going to find all three things. And actually, I like it facing this way. Now, this is the loop method. All right. So I'm going to use different colors here. I need to find DC. I need to find AC. And I need to find BC. So I'm going to call them X, Y, and Z. If you get this question on a test, or I would like to say the Regents, but I don't think that's happening. Anyway, but you will have tests on it. If you need to turn it sideways, go ahead and turn it sideways and just go with it. All right? You don't have to keep turning back and forth. And I told you guys before, other teachers make fun of me because you guys do it sideways, but you get it right, so I don't care. All right, there's going to be 3 loops. The first one is the altitude loop. All right, so the green, I'll put this here, is the altitude loop. All right. And then there's going to be leg loops. Now, you're going to have to come all the way from, now this, so the altitude loop is the little guy. When you're doing the leg loops, they're going to be bigger. So you're going to go from here to here to here and just have a nice little loop there. So the blue is the left leg loop. And I have red out, so same thing, only the mirror image. Okay. And that means that the red, in this case, is the right leg loop. Good? Okay. Now, if I follow my loop, that will give me my proportions. Okay, so I'm going to do the green first. I follow the loop. 2 is to x as x is to 6. So 2 is to x as x is to 6. So x squared equals 12. So x equals rad 12. And let's simplify that because we should start seeing some patterns. All right, so if I simplify it, put the perfect square in the front, 4 and 3. So this is 2 rad 3. Okay, let's do the blue now. All right, just follow your loop. 18 is to y as y is to 2. 18 is to y as y is to 2. So y squared equals 36, so y equals 6. Nice and easy with these loops, right? I'm sure the first part of the lesson was kind of scary. All right, follow your red one. 18 is to z as z is to 16. Okay, oop, don't have my calculator, there it is. All right, so z squared equals 288, square root, so z equals, if I simplify this, hopefully you see the 144 in there, 144, And that's 2. So 12, rad 2. I feel like I did something wrong here. 18, 16, 36, 6. Oh, I see what I did. I did do something wrong. Back up to the green. All right, sloppy handwriting. 16. 2 times 16 is, sorry, 32, square root. So this is 16 and 2. So 4 rad 2. Sorry about that, guys. See, if we were in class, someone would have yelled, probably a scene. No, Michelle, you're doing that one wrong. Okay, now the reason I knew that something was wrong is because these radicals will normally match. Good? Okay. So let's go back and we'll do this one. Now this one has words to it, so we have to follow the wording. All right, the altitude to the hypotenuse of a right triangle. Now make sure that you have your picture facing the right way. So here's my hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle, and here's the altitude to the hypotenuse. All right. The length of the altitude is 8, and the shorter segment is 2 feet. And I'm just going to put it like that. Find the length of the longer segment, then find all of the other missing segments. Okay? All right, so on this one, I'm going to have to use an altitude loop. So 2 is to 8, as 8 is to x, because it's the little guy in there, and we have the altitude involved. So 2 is to 8, as 8 is to x. So 2x equals 64. So x equals 32. Good? Okay, now that means that my hypotenuse for the largest triangle is going to be 34. All right, so I'm going to call this one y. I always go left to right. You know, not necessary, but okay, so now I need my left leg loop. This is going to be a big loop, so I'm going to start at the big side, come up and around. So my proportion is 34 is to y, as y is to 2. 34 to y, y to 2. So y squared equals 64. So y equals 8. And now I'm going to do z. Missing green. So I'm going to put my z here. Follow your loop. 34 to z, z to 32. So 34 is to z, as z is to 32. I need my calculator for this. So 34 times 32, z squared equals 1088. Y equals 1088 divided by x. Look at my table. Oops, 64 and 17. Hopefully you found it. Now I use my right-hand column because I know that's going to get me the largest perfect square. So 8 rad 17. So that's my z. Okay, what do you think? Okay, so now let's do number 4. All right, I'm going to go upside down, just please. That's the way I like the picture. I'm just going to find everything. All right. How far is it to cross the lake? And that would be this right here. So let's put an X there. Altitude loop on this. This one's bad though because it's upside down. It's a 9, so hopefully I won't mess that up. Okay. 4 is to 6 as 6 is to x. So 4x equals 36. So x equals 9. All right, so that's 9. Now remember, if we're going to do the other loops, we need the Jay Leno's here. All right, so that's 13. I'll put a Y here. Okay, big leg loop, bigger loop for the legs. So I have 13, follow your loop, is to Y, as Y is to 4. So Y squared equals, we're at 52. I don't know if some of you noticed this already, but this one should, do you see how it's going to be 4 times 13, so it's going to be 2 rad 13? I don't know if you noticed that from other work that we've been doing. I know it. And we would have talked about it in class, but it seems like overload sometimes. All right, so now I need the Z. Put the Z here. That's going to be a right leg loop, so up and around. Bigger loop. All right, because we're hitting the hypotenuse on there. So, follow your loop. 13 is to Z, as Z is to 9. Again, do you see how this is going to be 3 rad 13? All right, that's pretty cool, right? So Z squared equals the square root of 9 times 13. So 117. So Z equals 3 rad 13. Okay, so that's what I have for you today. So make sure you're using your rocket pens or highlighters and do the homework, okay? Have a good day. Thanks.